The debate continued today on the bill for the establishment of the Independent Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The bill, which was tabled back on the 20th of September, would free the DPP from the influence of the Attorney General and other cabinet positions. The Attorney General would, however, be allowed to give specified directions to the DPP in any matter involving public policy, national security, or the international obligations of the Bahamas. During the debate today, Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield said he supports the bill because it is a move to wipe out the prevailing stigma of endemic corruption from the country.
What we seek to do is to break the monopoly on this unfettered power by an Attorney General, if you will. That's what we seek to do. And to put it firmly in the hands of a public servant who's empowered to operate outside of the arc of political authority in the exercise of his duties. We seek to put power in the hands of the people by placing it in the hands of an independent director of public prosecution. A DPP who will be clothed in the power of his own office to conduct the affairs of the people without fear.
Also adding to the debate was MP for Southern Shores Frankie Campbell, who said he has a personal account of what not having a DPP can do.
I was a policeman, Mr. Speaker, when my police officer colleagues made a certain recommendation. But that recommendation had to go to the AG's office. The AG had to make the final determination against a colleague of the AG. And mind you, Mr. Speaker, it could have been that the AG made the right decision. It could have been. But owing to the fact that the AG and the person concerned had such close connectivity, there would always be that doubt. And it is that doubt, Mr. Speaker, that this bill is seeking to remove. This doubt will benefit both the person who is suspected and the person who is making the complaint.
Campbell added that fair play is what the country needs, and among other things that contribute to crime is, of course, the public seeing high officials getting away with embezzlement, and that is the sort of corruption they're working to eradicate. MP for Marathon Ramalt Ferreira also gave his views. Well, during his stint as Attorney General, St. Anne's MP Brent Simonet nollied numerous cases, and that's by his own admittance. In his defense, he said these were minor cases that stretched back many years.
I signed boxes of those out of the way because I just couldn't see bringing someone back who was 18 at the time, who's now 28, 30 for one joint, bring him back from Canada to the Bahamas to waste time. You know, let's move on. And I hope the backlog will be dealt with in due course.
There are a reported 20,000 warrants out for people to appear before the courts. Mr. Simonet says there needs to be some way whereby those crimes that are over 5, 10 years or more are dismissed, as opposed to continuing to clog the system. The FNM MP was at the time contributing to the final leg of debate on an independent director of public prosecutions, an amendment he sees as crucial, considering that on a daily basis, it's the Attorney General who decides who should be prosecuted for a crime.
We need to find a way, and this is all I want to stand up to do today, was to take that power out of an elected official or an appointed official in the Senate and put them in the hands of a duly appointed civil servant. So forever and forever after, we take away the possibility, the sniff, or whatever you want to call it, of political intervention into the prosecution or lack of prosecution of any Bahamian in this country today.
Well, a formal note has been sent to the United States conveying the Bahamas' regret and heartfelt sentiments in the wake of Tuesday's truck attack in New York. 8 people were killed and 12 others injured when a truck driver hit people on a cycle path in Lower Manhattan. The suspect, 29-year-old Sayfullo Sapov, was shot and injured by police. Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield this morning condemning the cowardly act of terror.
The Bahamas continues to condemn cowardly acts of terror and to note that the use of violence to achieve political ends will never work. It will only beget more violence. Our thoughts and prayers with the families of those impacted by this hideous event. A formal note conveying our regrets and heartfelt sentiments has been sent to the government and people of the United States.
The BBC is reporting that notes in Arabic claim the attack was on behalf of the Islamic State group. In fact, New York police say the attacker had closely followed IS instructions from social media on how to carry out such an assault and had been planning it for a number of weeks. Tuesday's terror attack was said to be the deadliest in New York City since 9/11. Now, when it comes to the ease of doing business, the Bahamas is just not where it needs to be, and if the country hopes to remain competitive and attract more investors, improving its ranking on the global index is a must. As it stands, the Bahamas ranks 126th in the world. In hopes of remedying this, the government's appointed a committee that's expected to come up with some recommendations. In doing so, that committee, chaired by former President of the Senate Lynn Holowesko, will examine several aspects of doing business here in the Bahamas, namely central bank practices, registering property, paying taxes, starting a business, protecting investors, obtaining building construction permits, and trading across borders. According to the press secretary Anthony Newbold, the committee has already made several recommendations to cabinet that were discussed, yet more are expected by the end of the year. You're watching JCN News. Stay tuned.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.